Hello, everyone. Hello, everyone. Please go ahead and wind down your conversations and have a seat. Definitely plenty of seats, and you definitely want to be up close for tonight's meetup. Thanks, everyone, for coming, braving the South by Southwest traffic and the closed down lanes, and joining us for the March edition of AUSOME. For those of you that have never been here, we are AUSOME's #1 online marketing meetup, and we're focused on entrepreneurs. So my name is David Vogelpol. I host the event, and I help organize along with some other folks from my team, Kelsey and Lee Howen, Evan, and leaving people out, April and Cecilia, who all assist in putting all this together. So they help coordinate things with the speakers, get the food all together, get all the drinks and everything. They do all the hard work. I come up here and talk for 5 minutes and then sit down and have some beer. So could you guys give them a round of applause, please? The food and beer have been sponsored by Affiliate Summit. I'm going to talk a couple of seconds, one more thing on Affiliate Summit, but thanks to Sean and those guys. Sean couldn't make it tonight. He's coaching his daughter's soccer game. But he'll be around for South by Southwest. So if you're a startup crawl tomorrow, we have a table downstairs. Affiliate Summit has a table downstairs, so come by and check them out and just hang out during the startup crawl. If you're going to tweet tonight, use the hashtag #BeAwesome. Don't forget that meetup.com has a mobile app, and you can check in and take photos. We really appreciate the photos. It helps show other people kind of what we have going on. And then thanks to Capital Factory for letting us use the space for free. It's a huge pain on us. Yeah. We've done it at other events where we had like minimums and stuff like this, and I would come up here and like hustle you guys to buy drinks, and that's just no fun. So we're glad that they do this for us. One other announcement before we introduce our speaker. On Friday night, my company Marketing Click, Affiliate Summit, and our past speaker Brooke Schaaf's company, Schaaf Partner Centric, are hosting and sponsoring an open bar for the 2014 Affiliate Marketing Happy Hour at South by Southwest. This is our 3rd year in a row. It's going to be at 219 West on Friday from 4 to 8. If you follow this bit.ly link, bit.ly/Brooke is cool. He's the guy that puts it all together, and Sean and I just write text. You can go there and enter the password high performance to RSVP for that event. And I used Brooke's cool 8th grade headshot here. In the previous meetup, I skipped it. He drew a little mustache on my face on my little name tag they printed out for me. So this is my retribution to Brooke, because I'm picking on you for this one. But I'm really pleased to be able to introduce our speaker tonight. I first saw him unexpectedly at PubCon Austin about 4 years ago. And I don't think I'd ever seen a speaker speak before. And I just kind of sat down at this session about conversions, conversion optimization. And this guy gets up on stage, and he's wearing a lab coat, and he starts talking about conversion science and the things that he did to measure and optimize the pages for his clients to help them improve their conversion rates. Now, on a personal level, I was very interested and involved in A/B testing and optimizing for conversions. But listening to Brian was really helpful to hear his approaches and his ideas related to how to, again, track and optimize pages for conversion rates. And so here we are 4 years later now, and I've gotten to know Brian over the years. We speak at a couple of conferences together, and of course he's also here in Austin. And very pleased to introduce, to speak at AUSOME of Conversion Sciences, Mr. Brian Massey.
That was nice. Man, I'm glad you guys came out. What I'm going to have to do is I'm going to put the speaker, or the microphone down for just a second. Not used to dealing with the microphone, so I hope that you guys streaming will get this. Whenever I start a project or a presentation like this, I want to make sure that I'm in the right frame of mind. So I put on the Conversion Sciences lab coat. This means that we have left the world of marketing myth, of sales superstition. We are now in the world of data-driven decision making. We're going to make decisions on our website, what we change, what we do, based on data. And what I'm going to do today is I'm going to take you through 18 unexpected website formulas that we have discovered through testing websites and in our research I want to impart these to you, and if I've been successful, you will leave here with a different attitude towards your website. In other words, you should be able to make different decisions in the way you go about marketing online if you take these to heart. Some of them will surprise you, some of them will shock you, some of them will bore you, I'm sure. If you've got a cell phone, what I'd like you to do is turn it on, make sure it's on, go ahead and mute it. But if I'm also doing my job, there should be some tweetable moments here. As you said, we appreciate pictures and tweets, so have at it. And we have a slow flipper here. What we're going to do is we're going to go over 18 concepts that are going to shape the very foundations of your web development strategies. Or at least that's what it says on the slide. 18 ways to make your website more successful and 18 ways to really piss off your competition because they're going to wonder what the heck you're doing. This is fun. When you start putting up pages and sites and people start ordering, you start getting more leads. It's a good feeling. It's a fun thing, conversion optimization. That's why we try to have as much fun ourselves as we can. My name is Brian Massey, as you know. Now, I'm an entrepreneur. I was trained as a computer scientist. I'm a marketer. I'm a salesperson, and I don't know how you roll all that up into anything other than a conversion scientist. My company is Conversion Sciences. I founded that in 2007, and we are growing. I'm a consultant. I speak all over the world. I'm the author of the book, Your Customer Creation Equations, Foundational. It's one of those books really written to change the way you look at websites. I think you'll find it very helpful, and I am a labwear fashion model. So, our company does training. We do a conversion catalyst consulting, which is we bring people in to show them all the moving parts of setting up a conversion optimization process, getting those wins on your website. I won't read through all of this. If you are interested in contacting us, please visit us at conversionsciences.com. This is a slide designed to make you go, ooh, ah, because of all the companies we've done business with. But now we're going to get into the presentation, which is why we're all here. So please put on your safety goggles. Unexpected formula number one, your opinion doesn't matter. Your opinion doesn't matter. What you put on your website doesn't matter. Remember, we're driven by data here. We're driven by what the needs of our visitors are, our potential customers, people who are going to become leads. So what looks good to you is probably going to lose in a test. The one thing we've learned along the way is that the pretty, well-crafted, well-created pages that we just love, oh, this is beautiful, if you don't love this, always loses to ugly. I won't say always, you should always test it. But we've had our heart broken many a time by putting up something gorgeous and only to have the test prove that it wasn't converting as many people, as many visitors to leads and sales as the ugly version was, usually the control. So your opinion doesn't matter. Here's a good example of a page that, here's a good example of a page that, here's a good example of a page. So what's going on here is what happens on a lot of websites. Designers come in and say, oh yes, we need to do this. You guys offer a lot of stuff, so we'll have a sliding header, sliding hero image. Most sites have this. Most templates support this. Our testing has found that there's something about that motion that distracts people, just like I tried to simulate there a moment ago. And it actually reduces your conversion rate. What works better? We have tested static headers that have won against the sliding headers. You can segment them up if you have multiple offers. But one of the things you really have to do in order to become good at converting on your website is get good at picking who you're going to walk away from. So if you try to throw it all up there, you're creating a very dangerous component on your site. It's called choice. And there's nothing that will kill conversion faster than choice. You think, oh, we're going to give them all the options, but the truth is, they don't want options. They want you to direct them either to what they're looking for or what you want them to do next. And if you can direct them what you want to do next, you can direct them to things that help your business. Here's an example of an alternative homepage. In this test, this design boosted sales by 30%. It was not tested against that Zumba page. But here they use a very simple tab. orientation, and every one of the tabs has an offer on it. And each of these offers is designed for a different segment of the audience. So the homepage's job is to get people off the homepage. And I just gave away one of our last secrets. This one worked well, though, because there was no motion to draw us away. As I'm reading the copy, starting to understand all the fabulous things that Epic offers, there was no motion that kept making me look. Motion is in our brains is wired that if something's moving, it might eat us. So therefore, we need to pay attention to it. Use motion on your pages very, very carefully. So unexpected formula number 2. Your visitors don't care about your company or its products. Wait a minute, what? You're coming to my website. Certainly they want to know about my company, my products, right? No, they want to know about their problems, solutions to their problems. So your website should start with where they are. If you start off talking about how wonderful your company is and how fabulous your products are, and you don't start with what their problem is, what the best solutions are, and why yours might be one of those, you're going to lose them. The Eisenberg brothers call this weeing all over ourselves. We are the leader. We have this, we have that, we have awesome products. Go onto your website and count the number of times you say we, our clients, our company, use your company name, put your company logo, your company tagline, your company product names. If that number is large, and certainly larger than the number of times you say you're probably weeing all over yourself. So this is a prime example of why you should design your site and write on your site to serve your visitors, not your company. This is an example from a company called Graviton. Graviton offers on-demand performance management software and services for optimizing business processes, workforces, technologies, and other assets. Our innovative cloud-based solution puts executives in control of their business model, giving them unparalleled visibility, decision support, and organizational alignment.
Yeah.
Thank God. I couldn't sleep last night because I didn't know if we had any organizational alignment. People don't talk like this. What do they do? What do they do for me? I actually couldn't tell you. They go on to say their products on our on-demand software provides best of breed. Word of warning about cliches. They bounce out of our brains, cliches. Best of breed solution to quickly drive performance information to the right people in an organization. All right, what's it going to do for me? I mean, the right people in the organization, what's it going to do for me? And then this is a testimonial. And if you're writing testimonials, they're going to be self-serving. You're going to pick the testimonials that are positive for your company, right? But this is clearly not said by anybody. Graviton's forward-thinking solutions helped to establish the next generation of business and IT within the Texas Health and Human Services Commission. People don't talk like that. This is marketing speak. This is business speak. And as it turns out, they have modified this over this. This is a fairly old slide, but it's just so classic I can't get rid of it. And they start talking about their products and say, now through a single unified user interface, design, order, provision, and control cloud services. Oh, okay. So this is a little bit more about what I can do. It's not about the company and what it does. But they don't stop. They go on to say, with the ability to modify decisions as needed to ensure the satisfaction of your IT goals, this is the new IT. How many of you think that IT people wake up going, oh, our IT is old. We need the new one. Again, this is a cliche. It's not going to be paid attention to. So number 3, unexpected formula number 3, your visitors will tell you what you need to know. Your visitors will tell you everything you need to know about what decisions to make on your website. What this requires is a little bit of proficiency in analytics. So Google provides a tool which is very easy to install on your website and will give you some very interesting insights as to how people are visiting your site, where they're coming out, what paths they're taking, and you can learn quite a bit about which of your pages might be a problem, which of your pages is designed badly, which of your pages is weeing on itself. If there's a big red waterfall on one of your pages, you should go look at it and say, what's going on here? So many people are leaving. And you can do this based on where people are coming from, which pages they're entering. This is a pretty powerful set of tools. You don't have to be a statistician or a scientist to understand this. And those businesses, if they're counting on their web presence to make their business go, if they don't know how to read some of these basic reports, they're going to get left in the dust. So, we have a conversion lab online. If you go to myconversionlab.com, that lists a lot of these tools. Google Analytics is just one. There's an awesome tool called Crazy Egg that allows you to see where people are clicking and how far they're scrolling. So if you have a long page and you wonder if people are reading the whole page, it'll tell you. There's a really interesting tool, it's a plugin for Chrome called Ghostery. Actually, I think it's available on all browsers now, called Ghostery. You go visit your competitor sites and see if they have any testing tool, what kind of analytics tools they have on their site, and scare yourself a little bit if they are, in fact, doing some of this stuff and you're not. So go check it out. There's a long list there, and you can create a little dashboard for your links to the tools that you use. Unexpected formula number 4. Conversion is about more than landing pages, buttons, forms, and shopping carts. And in fact, one of the things that's really important in conversions is getting second and third chances. Okay? So we talk a lot about powering lead batteries with your lists. If you can charge these batteries, we'll talk a little bit more about that, you get another chance at them. It's about the strategies that you use and the way that you go to market integrating with other things. So it's not, you can't just test one page and get away with it. You've got to create and test an entire strategy around it. Unexpected formula number 5. Every click is a promise that needs to be kept. Every click. So if you say, learn more, and you take somebody to a page that wee-wees all over itself talking about your product, they're not really learning more. They're getting a pitch for their product. It's a broken promise. If you have an ad that says, get 50% off, and you bring them to your homepage and it doesn't mention the 50% off, you've broken the promise. So for every time you put a call to action in an email, every time you program an ad, every time you put links on your website to another part, stop and think about, what is my promise here? Because the page that it goes to has to keep that promise, or you have broken it and the person will leave and will have a bad brand experience. Here's a good example from Zumba again. I came across this ad and clicked through, and this is the page that I found. So this is the new Wonderland collection. Unfortunately, there is no mention of the Wonderland connection here. The product's not even the same. The product was what interested me. I won't see it. The girl is different. There's been a break here. And the only mention of Wonderland on the page here, by the way, is right here. This is the search box. I typed in Wonderland trying to find Wonderland, and my search returns 0 results. So this is a severely broken promise, probably a wasted ad. Where could this have gone? This could have gone to a category page that listed all the Wonderland products, or a product page with that particular outfit. They did get the colors right. And when you look at things like that, if you have a visual ad or a visual link that goes to a page, you should use similar colors. Let them know they're in the right place at a glance. Here's another good one. I did a search for emergency plumber Austin, and I got some pretty good results. So there are people actually that know that we want the emergency plumbing jobs because people are desperate and they're going to take it if we can get them to them. So they actually have emergency services, emergency plumber services. But when you click through on these, what do you get? Here's one, Thunderbird Plumbing. They don't mention anything about emergencies. I don't know anything about when they can get there. Do they have trucks going around town? Picture of a truck, if they had a bunch of trucks, would be awesome. It's these 2 guys, and if there's only 2 guys, what are the odds that they're not going to be busy? I'm probably not going to call these guys. AAA Auger, on the other hand, look at what these guys did. No extra charge, weekends, holidays, or nights, Austin Plumber, 24-hour emergency plumbing in red, and the phone number is there, bold as day. If I'm in an emergency, all I really need to know is that can you be here Christmas Eve, whenever I'm having the problem, and what's the number? And these guys have a page that delivers it. They're keeping the promise of the expensive ads that they're paying for. Clicks to these ads are not cheap. Unexpected formula number 6. Every change is an experiment. So you guys should imagine putting on your lab coat when you decide to make a change to your website. Because every change is an experiment, and you should when you're familiar with the analytics software and you make a change, it could be anything from changing a story, doing a new blog post, whatever is on your business generating site, you need to be going in and looking at what the results are. So this is an example of, this is from Google Analytics, and each of these little bubbles is an event, something that changed. Well, some of these made for a little change. Some of them caused a spike, some of them caused a downturn. I'm learning something from my changes. If I have lower conversions as a result of a change that I made, maybe I'm not going to make that change anymore. But if I get a nice spike or even a continued rise, I should do more of that. It's very simple. So you're experimenting on your site, and if you're watching the data, and these aren't complex reports, you're not doing regression analysis or anything, you're going in and looking at results, you're going to be a much more powerful online business person. This is just an example of what we did was we looked at the topics for some of the articles that we were writing. We want to know what we should write more about on our blog, and our blog is an important lead generator for our business. If you look here, now these are not statistically valid, but we've got some clues. Every time we talk about landing pages, we seem to have a pretty good conversion rate. There's a 60%, there's a 10.6% here. The subscribe page obviously is where you go to subscribe, so it doesn't count, should have a high conversion rate. We maybe should write some more about landing pages. And as it turns out, that over and over, time and time again, landing pages is one of the most popular topics we write about or speak about. Number 7, specifics are the hallmark of conversion. So a lot of the time we write copy for our websites that is in this business speak. I've hinted at it. Weeing is one of the problems. The other is being generalizing things. So you talk at a very high level about what your benefits are. You say we're the leader, but you don't offer the proof. Be specific. So if you've got over 1,000 customers, why not say we have 11,042 customers? At the time that you wrote that, it's true. Well, here's a good example. So this is SAP Americas. They did a split test, and they wanted to test this call to action to download the free report. Access valuable business intelligence briefs, demos, webcasts, and white papers. That's like 5 things that are guaranteed to waste my time. I'm going to download a white paper. I might learn something from it, right? But it's time to read. It's time to watch a webcast, an intelligence brief. Yeah, I probably need the information in it, but we don't want these things. So what they did is they tested this against a more specific call to action. Advanced analytics, dashboards and visualizations. Oh, suddenly I need these things, or I need to know about these things. Suddenly this becomes something that's going to help me solve a problem. Query reporting and analysis. Reporting, information infrastructure. Now for me, obviously, I'm like, oh, good, yeah. I love these things. But what you're going to find out in whatever industry you're in, if you're offering something specific, instead of, here's our resource, you can come and there'll be a lot of webinars for you to watch. It's not what I'm interested in. I've got stuff to do. But if you're going to help me solve a problem, I'm going to win. And in fact, this test generated 24% more leads the more specific call to action did. Okay. Number 8, avoid business porn. I'm tempted to show a show of hands. How many of you have got a designer that just chose some stock images of pretty people for your website? You can be honest with me. So these are images that are fillers. They're designed to elicit some sort of a reaction, emotional reaction. If you really asked yourself what kind of reaction you were trying to generate, what would it be? Why are there pretty women on your business webpage that's targeted at men? What are you trying to do here? We call this business porn, and it includes the pretty smiling people, and it includes the shaking hands, anything involving a globe, and the little lady with the headset. Actually, it's been used so much that the little lady with the headset tells me, oh, that's where I go to find out how to call. So that actually may be working. It's been overused so much. But there's like 5 ladies that you see everywhere. Yeah. And so you think, wow, she must be busy. She works for everyone. A better solution is use images that explain your product. Images are powerful. So you can really get people a long way down the road toward understanding your value proposition, understanding what you can do for them if you stop and think about what you can do with your images. Here's some examples that I just went through. We don't want to use these. Here's a good test. Look at any of the images on your website, especially on those pages where you're driving people to take an action. You want them to sign up to be a lead, you want them to buy something. And write a caption for that picture. What would it be? Most of them would be, yes, if you call us, you can work with pretty young people too. Or, I like this one. The caption for this one is obviously, we want to shake your hand so you can start sending us checks. If you can't write an intelligent caption for it, it's probably not a smart piece of content to have on your site. Incidentally, captions are one of the most read things on a page. So all of your images should have captions, and it's also a great place to put calls to action. Remind them that you have the white paper or what you're selling. So obviously, if you're selling products, show the product. If you've got a downloadable white paper, it's very easy to render it as something that looks real, so that they can imagine themselves using your product. They can imagine themselves buying your service. That's what the images really help them do. And when they can imagine doing that, that's when they take action. This is one from Hoover's. Is this an employee of Hoover's? Am I going to get to talk to this person? What is she looking at? Is there a blimp? I don't know. And we talked about the headset people. Who are you really going to get? I mean, if you're hurting for someone to put on the page, put one of your employees on, or somebody from your call center. I mean, because we really are going to get, we don't know who we're going to get, to tell you the truth. I thought this was an Austin company, Radiosity 3000. They sell paint that you paint on your roof, and it reflects the sun, and it reflects the heat, and it reduces your bills. Well, this is pretty straightforward. A woman on a tin roof on a hot Texas day, it's 102 degrees, the thermometer is there, and she's not sizzling. I think I get what they're selling. This is creative, it wasn't expensive to do. I think that's the guy's niece. So spend some time with your images. They will pay off in terms of higher conversion rates, and get rid of the business porn. Here's an example of a rendered book. This took me about 20 minutes in PowerPoint. I didn't even need any expensive software. Number 9, market research is a collection of hypotheses, not answers. So those of you who are running new businesses, you're probably out surveying people, you're asking questions, you're doing SurveyMonkey, you're calling people and asking, and they're going to tell you a certain set of things. The thing is that those become hypotheses for you. So if you see that everybody likes a certain feature, before you go building that into your product or highlighting it on your site, you should test it. Test mentioning that against not mentioning that. Anything that you would do, any decisions you would make based on market research, simply develop your hypothesis list. And if you are smart enough, even just doing, like we said, making change to your site and going to look at the analytics, you're going to learn about what really matters, because self-reported data is often flawed. Number 10, be interested to hear how you guys react to this. Don't send your store-bought traffic to Mark Zuckerberg. So, we're paying for SEO through the content that we write, through the links that we're brokering, we're spending time on it, we're probably hiring an agency to do it. Or we're buying ads, we're paying for the clicks. It costs money to get people to come to our website. The time we spend blogging so that search engines love us costs money. So why on earth are we putting icons on our site to make people go back and see what happened at Aunt Bertha's wedding? We earned them to the site, let's keep them there. The only place really that these make sense is after they've taken action on your site. So they sign up their lead, they download the white paper, or they bought the product, something happens that Cialdini writes about. It's called liking. Because they chose you, in their mind, you are now better than everybody else. It's a great time to say, thank us on Facebook, connect with us, go and do something social. It's also a great time to offer them additional products. Wait a minute, they just bought from us. Still, it's the best time to offer them something else, because they like you better than, they like you because they chose you.
So Brian, what you're saying is the bigger concept is you've got them to your website, don't do anything that's going to get them away from it or distract them from the purpose that you have them there for.
Absolutely. So he said, you paid to bring them to the website, don't do anything that's going to distract them. And there are more distractions than just this. You bring them to a landing page that's promising them some specific action on a e-commerce site. It's a product page. On a business site, it would be get the white paper, watch the webinar. Get rid of all of your corporate navigation. Get rid of the search, build the offer, and keep them there until they take action on that offer. Oh, but what if they want to learn about our business and stuff? Your visitors don't care about your business or your products. They're there for the white paper. They're there for you to learn something. That's the mark of a good landing page. No distractions, and certainly heartbreaking to see social media icons front and center, brightest thing on a landing page, because you're just chasing away your store-bought traffic. So, good point. Number 11, the most important part of a design is the dollars it generates. So we like to say the person we want to be impressed the most by our business is the accountant. He's the guy counting the money. He's going to know if we're doing our job or not. He's going to know if there's more coming in or less. This is a site called Ling's Cars. This is a UK car rental agency. And this is not an exaggeration. In fact, this page scrolls on and on and on. In fact, you scroll down, you start seeing the cars. Every one of them has something scribbled on it, or something boinging at you, or something flashing at you. And there's all this political commentary on here. They're criticizing Duncan Benetton, who was one of the politicians, one of the capitalists there. I mean, it is, and it knocks the European Union and some of their, I mean, it is just like, oh my God, a designer would look at this and go, oh, she would do so much better if she redesigned this, right? Well, as it turns out, this is her persona. They did 35 million pounds of car rentals through this site. She is lauded as one of the best entrepreneurs in Britain because her business is doing so well. And that's because this is the way she goes to market. This is her personality. And this is what people expect. So she is saying that there's a kind of car renter that I am walking away from. And I'm going to embrace those that agree with me politically, quite frankly, and like the way I'm going to market. And she is doing very, very well. The people who come to this site will probably laugh at a Hertz site. I mean, I don't have an example here. They're going to laugh at a Hertz site. They're going to laugh at an Avis site. It's for business people. Well, I'm renting a car from a unique person here, and this works. So her accountant is ultimately the one who says whether or not this is a good design. And if you ask any designer, they're all going to like, don't want to take credit for this. And most likely, she probably does a lot of this herself. Number 12, store the attention that you've paid for in batteries. We have marketing batteries that we can store the visits we bought to the site, and we can hit them again. I hinted at this earlier. If we can get a second chance and a third chance to convert somebody, we're doing very, very well, because we're not going to get everybody. They're not going to be ready to buy at the time. By batteries, we mean customer batteries. These are your most important batteries. Anybody who has paid anything more than 0 for anything on your site is multiple times more likely to be a client than somebody who's gotten something for free. Customer batteries. We spend too little time supporting them through our marketing channels, upselling to them, selling them more, or just making them experts at using the product that they're paying for every month. Customer batteries, very important. Subscriber batteries. Subscribe to our newsletter, subscribe to our blog, subscribe to get updates, subscribe to sports tips, whatever it is. You want to do, your subscriber batteries offer people who are further up in the funnel, in other words, they're still making decisions about how to solve their problem, not what it's going to be and whether I should choose this company. So if you can keep them going through, they're called the drip and nurture campaigns. I hate that. You want to be entertaining, you want to be educational, you don't want to be dripping to them. You want to be nurturing them. You want to be making them an expert in your product and how to solve their problem with your product. That's what you want to be doing. Social batteries are interesting. They're pretty easy to charge, and they're really hard to get electricity out And another reason not to send your store-bought traffic to Mark Zuckerberg is that we haven't really cracked the code of how to turn a significant number of social likes, follows, and fans into returning traffic to our website that converts. So social batteries, charge them. I would say get your subscriber battery working awesome first. Get your email working awesome first. And then start investing in social media. And when you've got an awesome email strategy, what's the main offer you're going to make to your social folks? Join our mailing list, because we know how to make that work.
So you said social first, and then what was number 2?
What was number 2? Get your email working first.
Subscriber was first.
Yeah, get your email working first, and then do social. And then mobile batteries. So if you have a local business, or if you have something that can be served at a particular point in time, where somebody is standing in front of the house going, wow, this is great. I need to find out how much this is, because the flyers are all gone or whatever. Mobile batteries allow you to do that. You need to be careful. So the thing about mobile is that if you get someone to allow you to text you, there's a 97% open rate with mobile. If I get a text from somebody, it's going to get read. But that's a personal space, and you have to be very careful. Always keep your promise. So don't say, we will send you real estate updates through text, and then start sending promotional crap, because they will jump right off. As things change, mobile is going to become more and more interesting, using apps and things like that. So we're going to stay tuned with mobile, but it's an awesome service for local services. Number 13, the most valuable use of a blog is as a content source. So we're big into content marketing. We think that the best way to get someone from social media back to your site is with interesting content. We think one of the best lead generators is interesting content. As I said, the webinars, the white papers, instructional videos, things like that. And your blog is an amazing resource. So a lot of people blog to help with SEO. But you can do videos on blogs, you can do images, you can do text, you can do slideshows. I mean, there's an amazing assortment of content resources that you can pull into your blog. And every one of these blogs has this amazing thing called an RSS feed. And this allows your blog to talk to a lot of other computers. Computers that will send things out on social media, computers that will automatically send an email. When I do a blog post, there are all kinds of machinations that get the word out. So, one of the things I hear is that, wow, you're everywhere. Well, I'm really writing for a blog, but it looks like I'm everywhere because our RSS feed feeds so many other services that make sure that we get noticed out there. And you should look at it that way too. So be writing content that is going to interest your prospects. That's a given. But write content that you know is going to be shared, and then connect all of these RSS feeds up. It's very simple. In my book, there's a chapter called Creating the Blog Volcano, and it talks you through some of those tricks. And this is an example of it. The other thing I like is things like Flipboard and Zite. So I don't read my Twitter feed really in TweetDeck or Hootsuite. I get it as a magazine in Flipboard, and it's so much better experience, and I get through a lot more content that way.
Is Flipboard specific to just Mac?
Flipboard is actually tablet oriented, although I'm sure you can get it on most browsers or most systems.
Or iPads, what I meant.
Yeah, iPad. I got it on my Android tablet. I got it on my phone, so I can always be flipping through, and if it formats, it brings in the image, brings in the title. It looks like a magazine.
It's called
Flipboard.
Flipboard.
And Zite is the other one, although Flipboard is much more beautiful, in my opinion. You may prefer Zite for its simplicity. Number 14, start at the end when designing your landing pages. So landing pages are amazing pages because they have two jobs. Number one, keep the promise that you made in your ad or your email. And number two, get the visitor to take some action. So they're very single-minded. And the way to design them is not starting with your corporate website with all of its navigation and its sidebars and its social media invitations and stuff, but start with the basic page and say, what is my offer? What am I offering? State that offer, and that is your basic starting landing page right there. 50% off US dollars from the leading reseller. Click here, and a button. It's got an offer, it's got a form, complete landing page. But of course you want to format it a little bit, make it more enticing. You want the headline to pop, so your designer might have a few things to say about that. He may also say, why don't we put a rotating banner on there? And you'll say, no thanks. The problem is that when you start asking for things that are going to help your business, credit card number, you start creating something called abandon. And so you've got to hire your copywriter to come in and handle some of those objections. And you also want to add some trust symbols. So we're adding past customers. United States Mint is a reliable logo. It's the government. It can't do anything wrong, right? And these badges for credit cards. They are informational, but they are also borrowing trust from the credit card companies. So we need to add a little copy here to handle some objections, because now we're asking for more stuff, personal stuff. But what we end up with when we start from the beginning like that, once we add a picture of the product, so that images are powerful, show the product, we end up with a page that is designed to get someone to take action. The headline is going to keep the promise, and this is designed to take action. There's nothing else on here. There's no connections to about us and our history and whatever else you can imagine. We don't want them to contact us at this point. We want them to buy some dollar bills. Here's an example from Oracle. So this is one of their landing pages. Nice wee copy. They talk all about themselves and the OLAPs and these all sorts of jargon. So they break a lot of rules with the copy here. But the point of this page is down here in the corner. They want you to download read this solution brief. This will help you understand how to use their product to solve your problem. But it's way down there in the bottom. Here's one from Hoover's. So this is better. This actually has a very prominent form, so I know exactly what this page is asking me to do. And this is going to be, we want one of the form to be one of those prominent things on the landing page. It's asking them to do something, make that very clear. Unfortunately, there's a lot of distraction in this background that's probably not necessary. And then there's these other calls to action. It's like form markers. Well, at least they didn't put the navigation on this page, right? So it's a bit confusing. This introduces the great fearful choice for our visitors. Number 15, sometimes it's okay if people abandon your landing pages and your shopping carts. Really? When would that happen? When would that be good? Well, there's good abandon and there's bad abandon. It's just like cholesterol. There's good cholesterol and bad cholesterol, right? So Forrester did a study on abandonment, and here's what they found. And each of these falls in the category of good or bad abandonment. Shipping and handling costs were too high. They get the top 5 reasons people abandon a shopping cart. Shipping and handling costs were too high. This is something that should be addressed before they get into the cart. They should be able to make this decision. That's why free shipping offers are so powerful. Not just because of the value of saving money from free shipping, but it takes it off the table. I don't have to worry about getting all the way to the shopping cart and then getting hit with this amazingly high shipping charge. So this is what we're going to call bad abandonment. It was poorly handled on the front end. Even if you have flat rate shipping, anything that will take the decision or the concern off the table, you should have lower abandonment. The shopper wasn't ready to purchase the product. This is good abandonment. What this means is that the shopper is chosen you, inspected your product, but they're not ready to buy yet. They're going to go check a few more places. Key here is a strategy we'll talk about, remarketing emails. We'll talk about that. The shopper wanted to compare prices on other sites. Again, good. At least they're considering you. They're going to go and they're going to do their other thing. They're going to look at their other sites and compare the other prices. But they didn't leave because you did something wrong on your pages. The product price was higher than the shopper was willing to pay. Well, that's probably because you haven't been reminding them of the value. So we choose things and add them to the cart, and then we get to the checkout process, and it's like, whoa, that's too much. In the shopping process, you can continue to remind them what they're doing, what they're getting, show the products that they purchased, and anything you can do to remind them of why they chose to buy from you. Free shipping, discounted shipping, that you're the proof that you're the leader, and things like that will help avoid this kind of abandonment. And then the shopper just wanted to save products in his cart for later consideration. So I'm not ready to make a decision. I just don't make decisions that quickly, but I wanted to put things into the cart. Wish lists are a great tool to put in a situation like this. Let somebody save them for later. And when they do that, if you get an email address, you can be reminding them that they have these items in the cart through email. So we're going to call this good abandonment, because this is just part of their shopping process. In all these situations, retargeting and remarketing are great strategies. So if I put something in a wish list, I should be asked for my email address so that I can continue to receive reminders that the stuff is there and why I wanted to buy it in the first place. People who abandon the shopping cart, there's lots of reasons they do. They've spent the time to do it, but the meeting's coming up, they had to abandon and go off and do something, or the baby's crying, or whatever it is. If you can use retargeted emails where you've collected their email address and remind them that they have the stuff in the cart, and maybe even sweeten it and say, you know, if you come back, we'll give you 10% off. You're going to see a significant increase in sales. Remarketing is when ads follow you all over the internet. You've seen those. You go to one site and suddenly every time you go to CNN or ESPN, you're getting that same ad. It works. That's why everybody's doing it. It works. So if you are doing an ad strategy, you should seriously consider using remarketing ads in your strategy. Number 16, email is the biggest social network on the planet, bigger than Facebook. And this just reinforces our belief that email is should be the first place you invest if you want to get results from your outreach to visitors, especially in business to business. You know, business people set their emails to check email every 10 minutes. They plan their day and replan their day over and over again throughout the day based on what they're getting in their inbox. It is their master, and so that's where you want to be. Email is very personal, it's person to person, and as long as you are being entertaining and being educational, they will continue to allow you to talk to them. You need to get your frequency up, because people will ignore 1 in 3, they'll ignore 1 in 5, but the one they get that gets their attention could be the one that brings them back to buy from you. Number 17, the job of your homepage is to get people off of your homepage. So a lot of us treat the homepage as a billboard. They're driving by our homepage and we want to show them ads for our product. That's where the sliding banner comes from. If you're running a catalog e-commerce site, that may be true. But if you're running an online service, if you're running a publication site, if you are running a lead generation site or business-to-business consulting site, you need to be getting them into the site. The job of the homepage is to tell them what's available to them and lead them a path that will help them solve their problems, help them become experts in solving their problem, especially with your service, offering, product, etc. The problem they may need to solve is that they need to be entertained. If you run a site that is about entertainment, that's what you need to do. You need to be driving them to those places. So it's about helping them make choices more than talking about how wonderful you are. No big ads, right? And number 18, and the last one tonight, is that you are going to be surprised by the things you learn. So if you take these concepts and you start applying these to your online marketing, you're going to learn things about your audience that is going to blow your mind. One of the things that we say at Conversion Sciences is that 50% of everything we recommend is wrong. And we spend our time doing this. And that is the truth. That is what we've experienced through our testing. The thing is that since we test, since we watch our analytics, since we don't make any assumptions about what we think is good, since we make the assumption that the visitor doesn't really care about us or our products, and follow these guidelines, we end up finding out which 50% we're right about. So half the time we're wrong, but we know which half are going to make us more money and generate more leads. So this is the fun part. This is the really, that worked. Those moments are priceless, I guess you would say. So I invite you to check out Cascade Content. This is a service that we are working with Fernando Labastida here, and it is it's very simple. Upload a webinar that you recorded, and we can turn it into reports, white papers, ebooks, blog posts, articles. It's kind of like a transcription service, but it delivers formatted content back to you. So we'd love to have you check that out. You can upload a webinar, and we'll give you an analysis of what kind of content we think would come out of it beautifully. And that's it. That's me. I hope you guys will connect with us on social media. All the data is here. And that is actually an employee of our company. That is not a stock photo. It's not business point.
Sunday cuts.
So what questions have you guys got?
I'm curious, when you were going back to rebranding and remarketing in terms of the good and bad, one of the things I got into as a hobby in the last couple of years is RC airplane. And
Okay.
I noticed some of the sites, if I'm sitting there and I'm on the site more than 2 or 3 minutes, they offer a discount to get me by.
Okay.
I won't buy anything until the discount ends.
Well, so they're training you for that, right?
They're training me, but it's stuff I would buy. So I'm just curious from your viewpoint, is that a good or a bad? There's a lot of don't leave this page or whatever, we're respect, instead of trying to convert me later.
Yeah.
They're
So,
like training me to not buy at full price.
right, the question was, he goes to RC airplanes sites to buy parts for his radio-controlled airplane hobby, and they do a popover after he's been there a little bit, says get a 10% discount if you'll make a choice. So that's called a time overlay or time popover, and there's a larger class of strategies called entry, and you also hinted at exit popovers. So when you try to leave a page, it says, wait, did you really mean to leave the page? You could get, okay, it was half off now it's a quarter off, or whatever the offer is. Or sometimes it's just, don't leave, you haven't finished reading the page yet, or you haven't taken action on our page yet. They do work, they are pushy, and you need to make a brand decision on that. But I've never seen a test where we've added an overlay to a site that we didn't get an increase in conversion rate. So you can do it tastefully. I saw a popover that all it was a little message that said, thanks for coming to site. You can expect to see these sorts of things here. We hope you have a great trip, and close it and you go on and read the content. That's priming, and that can be really powerful. We haven't tested that yet, but that sort of thing can be really powerful. So you should experiment with overlays. You should try some overlays. Entrance, when they enter, they see something. There are scroll triggered overlays, so if they scroll to on a longer page, if they scroll to a certain point, they will get an overlay with a specific offer. The assumption being if they're reading down that they're probably more qualified and more likely to respond to that sort of thing. Something certainly worth experimenting with. And there are a number of services, plugins for WordPress and stuff that will make that relatively easy for you.
Have you noticed a correlation in conversion and a certain set of technologies that a website's employing?
In terms of like their CRM or?
Yeah, like for instance, a CMS like WordPress as opposed to just a static web application or another CMS. I'm just wondering if you've seen a correlation.
That's an interesting question. I've not been asked that question before. My answer would be this. Content is really important to the search engines. Change is important to the search engines. And in terms of communicating with your audience, trying different things, as we said, is important. So if you've got a set of tools, WordPress or a content management system that you're using, or something in the cloud, whatever it is, make it something that you can use. Make it something that you have a team that knows how to use it, or that something is so easy to use that you can do that. The caveat I would add is also make sure that you can try different things, that you can configure and customize it, because you're going to want to try some different things, right? That's how you increase conversion rate. So nothing specific. I mean, we do a lot of WordPress ourselves, and there's always interesting plugins that come out that allow us to try some of these techniques. So that would be one I would recommend just from personal experience. But otherwise, whatever will let you get some momentum on your site, that's going to be the best tool for your organization. You had a question here?
I had a question in regards to going back to capture pages, or more specifically lead pages, or a page specific with an action of just collecting a name, an email, or maybe even just an email address. What have you found to be the best possible place to send them to thereafter? More specifically in regards to everything that you shared here today that you have.
So after they take action on a landing page, or if they've signed up to subscribe,
taking what you've shared into account.
Yeah, so as I said, the thank you page is actually very important. You can offer them more products on the thank you page. Certainly, it's a great time to ask them to share with their social networks. Those are the two primary things that we look for in a thank you page. Normally, it's like, hey, thank you very much. Here's a link to our homepage.
And then do you immediately send them an email thereafter?
Any excuse you have to send them an email, you should take,
Okay.
especially the transactional emails. Yes, understand that when somebody buys your product, they have to be converted into a user. So even simple products, you can make them better at using the products. You know, buy a pair of shoes, so that if they got an email about how to clean them, that might be helpful. How to maintain them, where to buy new shoestrings, whatever the issue might be. So definitely opportunities to send additional email will help them enjoy the product more.
Thank you.
Thanks. I'm building a website. It's a medical device website for
A measurement device website?
a medical device website for
Okay.
chiropractic acupuncturists. So the minimum is $4,000, and we're selling up to 10. So they're not going to go into a cart. We're not having a cart. We want to get them to call.
Okay.
And that's the call to action that we want. So is there an example of a website you know of that has that as their main CTA?
Yeah, actually we do a lot of testing with phone calls. So the bigger issue here is that for most of our businesses, a form fill is harder to close than a phone call. Like 7 to 10 times higher revenue per visit for somebody who calls versus somebody who fills out the form, because you can send them an email, get them to answer the phone if you're going to call them directly. So phone calls are important. The two things that we've tested that have repeatedly done well is putting the phone number in the headline. So your headline will be, we can help you, we have a medical device you're looking for, call for a quote. Somebody helpful and wonderful is waiting for you to call. And in all those situations, put the phone number in the headline, not off at the side, not down here, not on a button. The other thing we found out is that, so we did a test where we tested a page that only had the phone number on it. We tested a page that had a form and a phone number on it. And then we tested a page that had the phone number and a really nasty form on it. So we put lots of fields on there, and the text at the top said, you can fill out this form to contact us, but you really want to call, don't you? I mean, literally, that was the kind of approach we took. So the page that had both the phone number and the form was the second highest performing. The page that had the ugly form and the phone number got the most calls, and the one that just had the phone number on it performed significantly worse. So it's almost like you're enticing them to call by showing them an ugly alternative. You know? But just putting your phone number up in the corner, if that's what you want them to do on a landing page, is not going to be sufficient. The thing about landing pages is they need to talk about the offer. So if you have a medical device and your landing page is promising them a consultation, talk about the call. Who are you going to be talking to? Is this going to be some order taker? Is this going to be somebody who works in your call center? Or is this going to be an intelligent consultant? How long will the call be? What sorts of questions are you going to answer in the call? So you sell the offer, not the medical device, because nobody's coming to learn about the medical device. They're coming to learn how to learn about the medical device. Did y'all follow that?
Yes.
Sell the call, not the device.
Sell the call, not the device. If you've got a white paper, you bring them to a landing page that says, we got an awesome white paper, and then start talking all about your business, you're not selling the offer. Tell them what's in the white paper. Give them an abstract. How many pages is it? Was it a quick read? Is it a slow read? What items is it going to cover? What problems is it going to help you solve? And then once they've signed up and you've got their email address and you start a conversation with them, then you can start talking about, well, I mean, one of the best techniques, we haven't tested this specifically, but one of the best techniques you can do is they download the white paper and then they get an email series that explains all the stuff that's in the white paper. Because a lot of times people will not open it up and read it. So you're using email to parse it out and give it into bite-sized chunks. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
I thought we had another right here. Eric?
Do you have any opinion on live chat software, particularly for we're not selling anything directly, we just want people to contact us?
There's a segment of your audience that will love the live chat. They will. It's less invasive than a phone call, but if they're not finding what they want on your site, live chat can convert. So everybody will have a segment of the audience that's going to really, really appreciate that. And so in general, we recommend testing that as one of your options. Yeah. Karen.
Okay, Carl, thank you. On some of the WordPress websites that I have, we were talking about distractions. Sometimes I think I'm going to have too many sign-up forms. If they have something to subscribe to our mailing list, become a member of this organization, and also the Google feed list, where they can sign up to get an update anytime you update your blog. So those are like 3 different signups. How do you position things when you want all of that?
That's a good question. So what she said is on her blog, she has a number of different offers. So you can sign up for their newsletter. You can sign up to receive updates whenever they update something on the blog, or you can sign up to join an organization that's featured on. Right. So you're going to get into the problem of choice, and how the best designers are going to have a hard time getting people to see all of those things. So you're going to have to make a decision on every page. Which one of these is going to be the most prominent? Which are we really wanting people to do?
Advise against putting multiple choices like that on one page, like the home page?
On the homepage, your job is to show them what the options are. I mean, if your homepage is nothing but a bunch of ads, it's not going to work. What would be better is for you to say, invite them to a page about the association, and then that page becomes a landing page, and that sells the association. Your homepage talks about how they can learn more about the topics you talk about, things you do, and that would bring them to, we have these 2 lists, pick which one you think would be best or sign up for both. You see, the homepage is supposed to take them on a journey, and then the subsequent pages are going to what? Keep the promise of the link. So these become essentially landing pages where you talk about what it was you promised them and give them all the reasons that they would want to sign up. Get them to take that action. So does that help? You're creating pathways more than, every page, oh my gosh. Now, there's an interesting caveat here in that a lot of traffic comes to our blog content pages. So we talk about what we just recently wrote, or we're featuring something we wrote in the past. But people are coming to a blog page that's full of content and typically has offers in the sidebar. And those can become very overwhelming and blinding. So techniques like we talked about, the overlay popovers, entrance popovers, timed popovers, where something pops up after a few seconds. Oh, they've been here for 5 seconds, they're probably interested in this topic. Why don't we offer them our newsletter or offer them membership in our association? One thing that works very well is to, on all your pages, have an ad at the top. So the first thing they see is actually, hey, glad you're here, or whatever your copy says to reinforce it, and a form that allows them to subscribe, but it's relevant to the content, so it probably would be blog updates with choice. So there's a number of things you can do to increase your conversion rates. We see our blog landing pages, our blog pages as social media landing pages. Social traffic is coming to them because we do a lot of social outreach. And so we want to follow all the rules of good landing page. If that makes sense.
One more question.
One more question. Roger had his hand up.
Yeah, Brian, you mentioned the distraction of sliders or the motion and everything. Something you see on websites are either autoplay videos. You arrive at the website, the video starts playing, or one of these creepy people who walks out from the edge of the screen. Have you tested any of those?
We have. In fact, I've got an interesting story of one of those where we were certain we were going to get a big lift, and it didn't work out for us. It was a treatment center. They were selling drug, gambling, alcohol, pill addiction treatment. And they had an autoplay spokesperson walk out and go, "Are you suffering from addiction? Do you have a gambling addiction? Drug addiction? Are you addicted to alcohol?" Literally, this is what she started saying. And we're picturing all these people at work going, "Pause, pause, pause, pause." Well, so we did a test, because we test everything. Again, we don't know anything. Our opinion doesn't matter. And it lost. So the walkout spokesperson, even in this kind of extreme situation, won. We have tested the walkout person before where it didn't win. So I think it depends on your traffic. Kind of in general with the autoplay video, on a page where your promise is the video, say click here to watch the video, autoplay is okay and actually has a higher conversion rate if it autoplays, if they don't have to take the extra step. And we say, if they're not expecting the video, let them click play. Although I wouldn't be surprised if autoplaying, even if it was a surprise, didn't increase your conversion rate. So the people who see what it's about will go ahead and watch it and video is a great way to communicate a value proposition. So, does that answer your question? And that was our last question. Thanks, Brian. Thank you, guys.